Good morning, everyone. My name is Namonje. I'm from Zambia. I'm an entrepreneur, and I own a startup called Hire a Student, and I am also an event planner. I just want to ask you for a minute, why are you here? Why were you chosen? 700 out of 38,000 applications, and only you were chosen. You feel special, right? You feel excited. Your projects are exciting. And then look back home and think, how many times have you been told that you can't, that it will fail, that it will never work, to the point that you became an African with an identity crisis? And when do we change this narrative? Now think about it for a second. What is an African with an identity crisis? It's an African driving a used Japanese car on a road made by Chinese contractors, on his way to buy a Korean phone from an Indian shop. And all the clothes that this African is wearing are made in Taiwan. Think about that for a second. When do we change the narrative of an African with an identity crisis? When do we start to support African business? Look at the person seated next to you, and for 1 minute, forget about the country that is on their label. Forget about the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their religious beliefs. And if we separated this room, and this was a group of entrepreneurs, and this was a group of people that come for work, that are applying for jobs, we would run out of jobs. We would run out of places for work. We would go to the next room to look for people to work for our entrepreneurs. Now, Africa is an amazing resource. When do we change the story of Africa being a resource bank filled with resources, filled with natural resources, minerals, and labor? When do we start to use our resources as Africans and support African business? When will Africa buy Africa? It is our responsibility, African leaders, when we go home as that 1% that was chosen to support each other. If 5 of us created businesses and another 10 of us were employed by those 5, we've created 50 jobs in Africa, buying Africa. When you go home, please don't take back just the photos that you've taken, all that amazing weight you've gained from the amazing food that you have, all your tweeting. You will be famous. You will be a global sensation in your country. Remember that it is our responsibility. One of the most amazing conversations that we had in our course was how Africa is perceived from the outside. This dark continent, this poor continent, everyone survives on $1 a day. It is our responsibility. Go home with a heavy heart, knowing that the heart that is in you is African, and the blood that runs in you is African. And support Africa. Don't support because I'm Igbo, because I'm Tonga. No, support Africa. I'm Namonje Chimwala, and I'm not just from Zambia. I'm from Africa, and I believe I'm from Africa, and I believe that this generation is the generation that can change the narrative of an African with an identity crisis. Thank you.